we're going to continue our conversation with our panel. Well, actually, our very one special guest.
We have a special guest.
We do. We love Jessie Jane. She is the ambassador for America First Policy Institute and our Newsmax contributor. And always, Jessie Jane, you have such great insight and such passion about your thoughts on this. So, all right, bring it to us. What do you think of David Weiss being that special counsel? Wow. I believe we had a lawyer last week who said, what's so special about him?
I think the key word here is special. This is special, and we all know that that does not come across well. I mean, my goodness, you've got the same man who was investigating Hunter Biden, came up almost empty-handed, offering a plea deal that a judge dismantled, and it collapsed on the day where Hunter thought he was going to walk out with just minimal supervision, not even an ankle bracelet. And now we realize, oh, well, let me have a second round at this. How many millions of dollars is this going to cost us? It also alleviates David Weiss from having to testify in front of Congress. We have up to, apparently, according to the Oversight Committee, $21 million that were given to the Biden family from Russia, China, Kazakhstan, and going to various family members through LLCs. This is a no-brainer. Joe Biden was vice president when all of this happened via Hunter Biden. To say that there was no influence by the father, to suggest that this was separated from the dad, is ignorance. So yes, I will go back and say this is very special.
Very well said.
Well, Gunny, you know, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's usually a duck. I think we both learned that in the Marine Corps. But let's take a look at this poll. It was a Daily Mail TIPP poll. 63% of the people surveyed said that the President Joe Biden himself violated foreign influence rules when he was the vice president, with 29% believing that he did not. So how do you think that this continuing scandal surrounding the Biden family is going to impact the 24 election? Because listen, I think we know where the Republicans stand. But when it comes to independents and even some what I used to call soft Democrats, those that are still reasonable, rational, pragmatic, and want, you know, transparency, how do you think it affects the Biden candidacy for 24?
Anybody who loves this country and truly is devoted to having a well-run country is disgusted in this. And those are some people on the left. Now, the leftists, so to speak, the radicals, those that are going to dig their heels in, we're not going to sway them one way or another because power is all that they seek. But those who genuinely want what's best for this country know that this does not smell right. They know that it reeks of corruption. They know that having a president in the White House who has actually received payments, or his family members up to this point have received payments from foreign adversaries, reeks of corruption. There's no way around it. And now we're seeing CNN, MSNBC, a lot of these left-leaning reporters come out and say, hey, there's a problem here. So when the left-wing media starts pointing it out to us, I dare to say they're going to try to change horses midstream. But what horse will it be? There's talks now that Kamala Harris will try to go back to Senate so that she can replace Dianne Feinstein. There's talks of Gavin Newsom. But at the end of the day, this has tarnished the name of Democrats because you know what? They put up with it, they tolerated, and they did nothing but deny, deny, deny.
That's right. And to your point, Jessie Jane, they're not denying Hunter's behavior and the allegations that he broke the law multiple times anymore, as our correspondent Bob Brooks pointed out in his report again. Now, all of a sudden, as you said, well, yeah, he did some bad things, and we have to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, of course, but a lot of the statute of limitations has run or is about to run,
exactly.
And they know that too.
So will they be dragging their feet even more than they already did over the past few years? Well, we'll find out. But I do want to turn to the Republican side of the story, or side of things. Reports are that former President Trump flew into Iowa, of course, for the big fair this weekend, specifically to rain on Governor DeSantis's parade as he was trying to desperately reboot his campaign out there in the Hawkeye State. I know, Jessie Jane, that you are a big advocate and fan of former President Trump, but is there any way that you see another Republican, whether Ron DeSantis or someone else, even coming close to former President Donald Trump to get that all-important GOP nomination?
Absolutely not. All of the indictments have done has invigorated, one, his base, two, put an awareness upon Americans on the corruption of the DOJ, the weaponization that they have inflicted upon the American people. All they're doing is exposing their own sins. We now see things in detail, and each time that the president has to go plead his case, he's able to do what's called discovery, bring forward more evidence, such as the indictment in Washington, D.C., so that he has to claim his innocence from J6. Well, guess what? He gets to show that he actually believed that the election had fraudulent behavior, and he can give evidence of why he believed that. The same thing down there in Georgia. The same thing. He can bring forward what he can state his case. And the American people are going to be listening to this, because at the end of the day, here's a man who's a multimillionaire, a billionaire at that, who was never indicted in his entire life. And yet they wait to 2.5 years after he leaves the White House to try to indict him. That was the purpose of impeachment, which the Democrats failed twice. It is obvious they're petrified of him getting back into that White House, because he will clean house, and that means sending the trash out.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Very well said, as always. Jesse Jane Duff, thank you.
Thank you, motivators.